Hello, and welcome to Insights in Action with Orange 142, where we interview agency leaders and business owners to uncover the journeys, strategies, and insights that drive their success. At Orange 142, we're all about transforming brand stories into impactful digital experiences through innovative media and marketing solutions. And today, I'm very lucky to be joined by Leanne Aguilar of Empire Creative Marketing. How's it going, Leanne?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. Thank you so much for being on. And Leanne, I would love to just start this off by learning a little bit more about you and learning a little bit more about Empire Creative Marketing.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me today. So I started the agency 4 years ago, I guess, or 25 years ago, almost in August. And we're a full service agency located in Houston, Texas. So we do everything from brand development, brand assessment, strategy to creative branding, development, brand identity, and digital marketing, website development, photography, and video production. So we have a full studio and do all the things.
Wow. Wow. That's really, well, first of all, 25 years. I mean, I feel like in agency years, that's like, I mean, it's a long time. You know what I mean? Most agencies are not around for a long time. So that's a testament to the work that you do and the clients that you have. And I know that you began Empire Creative Marketing as a stay-at-home mom 25 years ago. What was that spark that pushed you from freelancing at the kitchen table to running a full service agency?
Yeah, so I did start from home. I had a baby, a newborn, and she slept a lot. And I had, one of my mom's friends who needed a website, and I said, "Well, I could do that," And so that's where it started, doing work for one business, and then they recommended me to other people, and it just started snowballing. And until I got to a point where, unfortunately, went through a divorce situation and had to make the choice at that point, do I go work for somebody else or do I go ahead and grow what I started? And so I took the risk, realizing that it would give me more flexibility to spend time with my kids and attend their school events, etc. And I just started it from there and really just went full force, and that worked out. So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, wow, really cool story that you have. So, what type of clients do you guys serve? Like small businesses, mid-market, larger businesses? And do you focus on a specific sector?
Yes, so we're primarily industrial and B2B.
Mhm.
Our target client is probably 5 million to, a couple hundred million. Those that have been established for a while, companies, not necessarily the startups, the new companies, but still small to medium-sized businesses who are really looking to grow and take it to the next level, polish their image, maybe rebrand, and really tighten up their narrative.
Yeah. So that's really interesting because industrial manufacturing and chemical companies, they often have like complex offerings. So what's your process for turning technical details into clear, compelling brand stories?
So it's really understanding their market and their audience and what they have to provide and bring, to the market. So it's telling their story to their audience in the same way, just really understanding what the needs are for their clients and the best way to present their products and get them in front of their audience.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you've been marketing for a while, so I'm sure you've done B2C marketing and B2B marketing. Like how yeah, it's really interesting. There's even like TV shows like Severance on this, how we're different people at work than we are at home. So how does that marketing change when you're targeting somebody who is a personality at work versus like how you would target somebody in a B2C setting? Does that make sense?
I think so. So, I mean, B2B and B2C, I mean, they are very different, and the way you reach them is very different too. I mean, if you're targeting B2C, I mean, they're typically like the platforms to begin with are usually somewhat different, or the way you communicate, and if they're just at home browsing Facebook, for example, the way we would reach them at B2C or TikTok or one of the other platforms would be the different approach. However, even with B2B and industrial clients, I mean, they're still, on these devices as well. So they still can be approached. It's just the messaging and I mean, these days there are so many tools that you can use to target people and find out what they're doing and what their habits are and where they're at. So I mean, we just really use all of the resources, like I guess, that we have. So
Right.
I mean, and it changes so quickly.
Yeah.
And it's really just being up on the technology and seeing where they're at and what they're up to, and then just pivoting and being flexible with that too. But it's, I mean, because even B2B owners are, they're people too,
Yeah.
and they have their other hobbies and their interests. And so if we can relate to them, whether it's on the golf club, club or golf course, or engaging with them in a like nonprofit or something where they're spending their time other than work too. I mean, we'll meet them there as well. So it's really about their core cares, right? Ultimately, in either audience, and
Yeah.
whether it's B2B or B2C, it's like, what are their core cares? What are their pain points? How can we
Mhm.
meet them where they're at and help solve the problems that they're facing?
Yeah. And those marketing principles never change. You know, what I mean, that's why
Yeah.
branding still B2B, B2C, it's still important. Stories are still important, and addressing people's pain points are still important, whether
That's exactly right, and it's just how you tell the story and the language that you use and understanding the technical jargon and understanding the language of that particular, industry or
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
for sure. Now, so as your agency has grown, how have your core values, creativity, collaboration, and innovation evolved and shown up differently in your day-to-day operations?
Really just listening to the needs of our clients and
Mhm.
figuring out what the problems they are trying to solve, and then getting creative and looking for resources. And again, the technology is changing so fast that it's really awesome. Yeah, it's just being flexible and adaptable and listening and being with them and keeping the communication open. And I think that's really important, is just to maintain that constant communication to understand what they're going through in any given month, and
Yeah.
then just adjusting our strategy as needed, and getting that feedback is really crucial as well, to see what's working, what's not working, if we're doing what producing the results that they're needing to see. Because if without that information, then we're powerless. So it's just really good communication.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And you're so right. I mean, things are changing so quickly. AI has become a big thing now. And it's really interesting that how many options clients have. And so you guys really act like you're an extension of the team, with the clients that you work with. That's one thing that I got when I was kind of doing my research for some of the questions. How do you cultivate those long-term partnerships where that collaboration feels like more of an extension of clients' in-house teams?
And that's exactly right. That is our goal. We want to be their in-house team, not in-house, but and it's, again, just open communication. It's just making sure that our processes are very streamlined. So we include the collaboration is like a huge part of our process and our
Mhm.
and being in regular communication, whether if we have to pick up the phone, whether we have to meet them in person, email, but trying to really understand what they need, and being in regular communication, and not being afraid to be in person or on the phone, and instead
Yeah,
of just virtual. Because I think, unfortunately, with the digital age, a lot of that's been lost,
mhm.
the relationships where you're in front of people. But we still try to nurture that and cultivate
Yeah,
that and encourage that a lot, which I think goes a long way.
that's awesome. So are you like traveling out to companies or to your clients and whatnot and meeting with them on a regular basis?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
We'll travel, we'll be flexible so we can be there, because I think an in-person conversation is way more, productive than a virtual one even. You get so much more out of just being able to go to lunch together
Yeah,
and
yeah,
talk in person, and just, I mean, just body language and
yeah.
just those nuances of in-person conversation are just way deeper and more meaningful, and form longer relationships than digital ones.
Wow. Yeah. No, I feel like that sets you apart in and of itself. You know what I mean? The willingness to just go out to your clients. And you're right, there is this like energy, when you can sit in on a lunch with your client or just even a brainstorming session that you don't get virtually. There's that energy where you guys can really come up with good ideas.
Right. Yeah, and there's just an understanding too. It's like you just get them at a
Yeah.
different level. And
Yeah.
so I don't think AI or the digital, space can replace that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think it ever will. And I think that that's going to become more of a differentiating factor as years go on, as we rely more and more on technology and more on technologies like Zoom and stuff to meet with clients, which I know is a big thing that everybody does. But I think that it's gonna be more of a differentiator, like the fact that hey, we go out and we like sit with our clients and we work with them face to face.
Right. And it's so much more productive too. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the communication on multiple levels is just so
Mhm.
much deeper when we can do that. So that is our preference. It's not that we won't have a digital meeting, of course,
Right.
but you know, we do encourage that, and that is a part of our process.
Wow. So looking back over, 2.5 decades, what's one lesson that you've learned about sustaining agency growth while staying, true to maybe family first roots that inspired the business in the beginning?
Yeah, it's a dance, definitely,
Mm.
right? And it's always, I mean, when my kids were younger, I mean, they're all out of the house pretty much now or in college, so I'm an empty nester now. But when they were younger, it was including them a lot
Yeah.
in whatever I had going on, and had them stuffing envelopes or on being the PAs on video shoots and behind the
Uh,
scenes helping, however, in different aspects on different projects. And I think that was really enriching for them. They got a lot out of it. So that allowed me to spend time with them and show them what it's like to run a business, and then had helping hands, which was great. I think just always having that mindset too of growth, a growth mindset of always wanting to learn and being able to be humble enough to be introspective and realize like what I can do better. And if I like learn from my mistakes, try not to repeat the same mistakes, just make new ones, I guess. But yeah, just being willing to change and grow and adapt and be wrong, um,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
learn. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's hard enough to start a business in and of itself, but to start it while you're also raising a family is even harder. So that's amazing what you've been able to do this past 25 years. Leanne, this has been so great. Where can people learn more about you and where can people learn more about your agency?
Thank you so much. Yeah, so you can learn about us at empiread.com. That's empiread.com. It's our website. And also on social media. I'm on LinkedIn, Leanne Low Aguilar, and connect with me. I would love that.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, thank you again for being on.
You bet. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.